They told her she was out of their mind. But somebody said, go on and open the door anyhow. See, that's what some of y'all need to go, because see, some of y'all think I'm just plumb crazy. Go on and open the door anyhow. Because you might just be like they were. They were astonished because of who was at the door. Did you catch it? She was so stunned, she didn't open the door. How many of you been just stunned at the miracles of God, and God said it's yours, but you still there just shouting, and your blessings on the other side of the door? You just happy, you just peep through the peephole, and you still shouting, but you didn't open the door. Your blessings outside the door, you peeping through the peephole, got your shout on, haven't got your blessing, and all you got to do is open. They think it is so unbelievable that they twice tell her that she's nuts. See, that's what's wrong with so many folks, Sister Thompson. They think I'm nuts. But I just believe God will do what he says he will do. They think I'm crazy. I know he's able to do exceedingly and abundantly. I know that he's able to open doors that have been locked. I know that he's able to open windows that have been shut. I know he's a healer that is able to heal our body. I know that he's able to make a way out of no way. I know he's a mother for the motherless. I know he's a sister and a brother. I know that he will do what he says he will do. Don't miss this. They prayed for Peter's deliverance, and God answered their prayers, and they don't believe it. Won't you open the door? You praying for something that you're asking God to do. You ought to believe it when it shows up. They don't believe. They prayed for the deliverance of Peter, and God answered their prayer, and they don't believe it. Won't open the door. Can I go there just for a minute? I'm going to help somebody and make somebody mad. You want to get out of the dilemmas and the trouble that we're faced with? Start opening the door. Start listening to the angels. Start following the precepts. When I knock on the door, just don't peek through the peephole. Look at me, open the door, because God has a blessing waiting on the main altar if you will open the door. God answers their prayers even though they didn't expect him to do it. I need to argue that. Why even ask him if you don't expect him to do it? They're in there praying, falling out, speaking in tongues, praying that God would deliver Peter, but didn't believe that God was big enough and bad enough to answer their prayers. That's what's so wrong with many of us. We ask God to deliver, but we doubt God has the power. God has all power of heaven and earth in his hands. And Matthew 7 said, ask and it shall be given. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. God answered their prayers even though they didn't expect it. And maybe the reason, Sister Chanella, that they didn't expect him to, because God allowed James to lose his head. He allowed John the Baptist to lose his head. But God waits patiently in life. God knows how to play chess. He knows how to analyze that and critique the board. Sometimes you got to sacrifice some stuff in chess in order to win the game. Life is the same way. Sometimes in life you got to sacrifice some stuff in order for the King of Kings and the Lord. Anybody in here play chess? Maybe y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Y'all play checkers. Anybody in here play chess? The object of the game is to take over your opponent's end of the game. Well, sometimes you have to sacrifice some stuff on your side in order to get to the other side. And it's not like checkers. You only have certain directions you can move in chess, and that's the way the word of God is. You can't play holy checkers, jumping here, there, and everywhere. You got to do it like God says. This is not Chinese checkers. You got to play it like God says play it. They had enough faith to pray, but not enough faith to expect God to answer. But that's what I like about God. God will answer when our faith runs out. That's why God is better than our faith. Let me go on and bring this little talk to a close because I'm at my last frame. When we realize that Peter has made it to the door, he did not stop knocking until they opened the door. And sometimes we get tied up with knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell, because they don't come as quickly as we think they ought to come. Have you ever been waiting at the door? Maybe they was upstairs. Maybe they were refreshing themselves. You there knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell. You know they're at home, but just seem like they're not getting to the door fast enough. You got to keep on knocking. And that's why I need to bring you to today. Whatever your situation is, you need to keep on knocking. Whatever your dilemma is, just keep on knocking, because your help is on the way. He's upstairs. He got to come downstairs. Your help, y'all missed it. Our help is upstairs. He's got to come downstairs to meet our blessing. Our help is here in heaven. But you keep on knocking. Somebody say, well, Reverend, do you have to have a peculiar knock? Well, I believe that every child of God has a peculiar knock. Can I help somebody? You don't pray like I pray. You don't talk to God like I talk to God in the midnight hours. When I'm by myself, I knock on heaven's gate till I get an answer. That's what's wrong with many of us. We tell God what we want, slide it through the mail chamber in the door, but I can't talk to God like that. I don't use the mailbox slot when I can talk to God all by myself. If the church is going to make it in the latter part of 2008, called the year of new beginnings, what are you going to do in 2009? Well, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep on knocking because I have not reached my final destination. I'm going to keep on knocking till I get my breakthrough. I'm going to keep on knocking until I get my deliverance. Keep on knocking until you get your healing. Keep on knocking because God may not come when you want him, but he will show up on time. Peter's there knocking on the door. They finally recognize who that is on the outside. I'm glad I got a different story. Jesus on the inside, working on the inside, and oh, what a change he's made in my life. Peter's on the outside knocking, but Jesus on the inside knocking. Anybody here, can you feel him knocking on the main altar of your heart? Be cute and pious if you want to. That's all right. You can't keep me from knocking. If I've got to crawl, I'm still gonna knock. If I can strut, still gonna knock. If I can't knock, pick up a rock, throw it at the door. God will